Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey y'all, welcome back to SunshinehazeCo. I'm Aja A. This is the new moon, reading the Scorpio new moon, not reading, the Scorpio new moon, or Scorpio lunar cycle video. I meant to get this up a few days ago, but in true Scorpio fashion, I was kind of just ducked off doing other things. So that is actually a lot of the energy that we'll be dealing with for this next month. But to get started, to get into it, as I said, this is the Scorpio new moon video. So for those of you guys that are not that into astrology or don't really know what that means, the new moon is the start of the lunar cycle, and it happens when the moon, it is there, but the side that's facing us is not illuminated, so it appears as if it's not in the sky. So energetically speaking, when we're having a new moon, we're dealing with a little bit of mystery, we're dealing with a little bit of this energy of a fresh start, of new cycles, new journeys, new chapters. Those things all come in with the new moon. Excuse me. So with that being said, we are now in the Scorpio lunar cycle, which means that we had the new moon in the sign of Scorpio. And just to tap a little bit into it, I do talk a little bit about the shadow aspects of these lunations. So when we're dealing with the new moon, on a negative side of the scale, we can be dealing with a little bit of mystery, a little bit of haziness as the moon seems as if it's not there, a little bit of tension and confusion as well. All right, let's talk about Scorpio. So Scorpio is one of my favorite signs, water sign. Y'all know my chart is mostly water. As I'm looking into the screen, it's so funny. My mom, I think about this, she said something to me years ago. She was like, your edges are never laid down. And no matter what I do, it's just my hair is so curly, so it doesn't lay down all the way. Anyways, so we did have this new moon a few days ago on Sunday, October 27th. The moon was at 11:38 Eastern Standard Time, which is a lot of master number energy there. If you're basing it on that time, which I don't know why I do. Well, when I first got into this, I was living on the East Coast, but even though I'm not over there anymore, I always look at the moons in Eastern time. I don't know why that is. Okay, so Scorpio. For those of you guys that don't know too much about the astrologies, Scorpio is the scorpion. Scorpio, if you know any Scorpios, they're very focused people, very driven people. They are known for doing a lot of work. They're very resourceful. They can be very intense. They tend to be very philosophical, pretty deep people. They are water sign. On the shadow side, they are scorpions. So they have stingers. They can be a little, you know what, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. They can be very feisty and very hurtful in the way that they communicate when they're not operating within their light aspect. And Scorpios are also, they can be a little sneaky, they can be a little selfish too. So I'll talk a little bit about the shadow energies a little bit later on in the video. First, I want to talk about the energies that we'll be dealing with by way of Scorpio for the next month. Although we're having this moon in October, it's on the 27th. It happened on the 27th, so it's only a few days left of October. We'll mostly be dealing with this energy throughout the month of November until we go into the Sagittarian lunar cycle, which kind of excited for that, and I think you guys will see why with everything happening during Scorpio season. First, as I mentioned earlier on, we're going to be dealing with this energy of being ducked off and doing our due diligence, putting in work. So Scorpio, if you think about it, it's a scorpion which lays low, close to the ground, right? And Scorpios are always moving. They're always lying in wait to really catch their prey. And in this aspect, when we're talking about the prey, it's what do you want in life? Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be right now? And so during this month of November, you're going to be lying in wait like the scorpion, really preparing yourself for that accurate precision to, catch your prey. If you've ever seen any like animal documentaries, I watch a lot of those. Shout out to Blue Planet 2. That is my shit. If you guys have Netflix and you like animal things, watch that show. I love watching that show. Shout out to Xena too, Zero. And who put us onto that? I think her name is Dana. It's been a while. I haven't seen. It's been a while. I like house sat for cats once, but Z is one of my best friends, and we did. I remember watching that with Xena. That had to be that Capricorn Earth rising coming through, because I love animals. So if you've watched all that to say, if you've seen a Scorpio, not a Scorpio, well, if you've seen a Scorpio, you've seen this too. But if you've seen a scorpion on any of those documentaries where they show how they, where they show how they catch their prey, you see the scorpion is just lying, and sometimes in plain sight, but not to what's going on around them. And sometimes they're lying, you know, in the bushes underneath the brush. And once the prey comes along, they're prepared for it, they're ready, and those stingers come out and they catch them, and they're just dangling from their little stingers. So we're really gonna be, that's gonna be us during this next month. Really kind of ducked off, laying low. I don't expect us to be too, you know, over the top, at the surface, in the limelight, really, with our plans. We're more so going to be, like I said, ducked off, laying low, doing work, again, putting in our due diligence, putting effort and energy into the things that we want to see play out, putting effort and energy into how we're going to snatch up our prey. And our prey, again, is the life we want to be living, the things that we have been trying to manifest in the physical for ourselves. We are this Scorpio season, with Scorpio being a fixed sign, being the fixed sign of the fall season, we are really focused on making the moves and taking action so that we can see the change that we've been calling upon implement in the physical for ourselves, okay? You guys listen to music, period, but there's a song, there's a Lil Wayne bar. It's real G's move in silence like lasagna. That's the energy that we're going to be dealing with during this month of November underneath this Scorpio lunar influence, okay? So we've got moves to make, and we're not really broadcasting them, we're not really projecting them right now, but we are making the moves during this month of November, okay? What do I have on here next? So with Scorpio being a water sign, being very passionate, we are, and we've been doing this over the past couple of months, really returning to our passions, but again, being underneath that fixed energy of Scorpio, we're in the season of change, and we're in the energy of making it happen. So we're really returning to, and again, I want to go back to what I was saying about our prey being what it is that we want. So our prey is what we're passionate about. Excuse me, I don't have anything to drink anywhere near me. Our prey being what we're passionate about, what we want to see play out for ourselves, the life that we've envisioned for ourselves, that positive, successful outcome that we've had our eyes on, right? So that's what we're returning to. And so being water, we're kind of immersed within the how to and what to do in order to get to that place, in order to make those things tangible for ourselves. So it's kind of like this Scorpio energy, especially with us being in the fall season, getting very close to winter, getting ready to wrap up the calendar year. Really in this space of, okay, right before the turn of the year, right at the turn of the year, we're really going to be in those new spaces. I've been talking about, we're here, we're making the change. We're no longer at the door knocking, like we're inside, we're in the foyer, we're in the lobby, we're in, you know, the living room, whatever. We're there. It's just, okay, now we've got to explore the rest of this place so that we can become comfortable in this new space that we're in. And that is what Scorpio season is bringing, the Scorpio lunar season is bringing about for us, okay? Also very quickly, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Scorpio is a very intense sign. If you know any Scorpios, these are very intense people. I said I love Scorpios, and I do, but with any sign, they have that shadow side to them, and when Scorpios are not operating within, again, their light aspects, they can be very, very intense. And you're like, gosh, like, especially emotionally, because they are ruled by water. But again, they're also very philosophical. So as I was saying earlier, with all those Scorpio aspects, and then with that intensity paired with it, this is a time, especially because we're making a lot of change in the physical, this is a time where we are very deeply rooted in the change that we are making, really grounded in this, and really going with that, the water currents of Scorpio to make the change happen. Not a lot, but there may be some major perceptive shifts coming in for us. You know, those things that we want to see happen for ourselves, if they haven't been happening, especially not in the timing that we've laid out for ourselves during this next month, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, you guys feel like, okay, hey, I gotta something's got to give. I got to change something. I got to think about something a little bit differently. And then you come into that space and then you figure out how to get to that point that you want to be in. That energy is really coming in strong for a lot of us, especially if you've got a lot of these aspects in your chart, okay? I talked about Scorpio on the shadow side a little bit. I talked about, you know, being very intense emotionally, so just be mindful during the month of November. Emotions can be, you know, on 1,000, and they can come from a very deeply rooted place. This is Scorpio. Scorpio is probably, as far as energy goes, probably the strongest of the water signs. So those emotional turmoil or emotional blockages or things that really weigh on us emotionally are going to be at the forefront during this next month, especially with us, you know, returning to and working on our passions, especially blockages there. Those things could be coming up for us. What else do I have for the shadow side of Scorpio? Scorpio can be a little sneaky, a little mysterious, a little secretive. So just keep in mind that people's motives may not be as pure as they would be during other times in the year. Look out for ulterior motives. And also keep in mind your own morality. Think about what you're doing and if you're doing it for your greater good or if you're doing it for some sort of selfish reason or selfish gain, okay? I've talked about this being a fixed fall sign, and very briefly I do want to say that we are having the last, it's like yay, but it's also like god damn it, the last Mercury retrograde of the year. It's also in Scorpio, so just, you know, some of y'all might be a little tossed, lost at sea, but try to keep in mind as you're flailing around in the water that, you know, you can calm yourself down and, you know, flow with the currents. But we do have Mercury retrograde happening during this time as well, so just be on your toes. It's really all I can tell you. Okay, briefly I want to talk a little bit about the numerology of this lunation. It happened in 4 degrees. 4 is a number associated with stability, grounding, and foundation, and building again, and putting in work. And what's also interesting is that this moon happened on a 4-day as well, so you've got those energies coming in twice. So it's amplified. So as I said earlier, we are in the fall season. Scorpio being a fixed sign, it's all about change in the physical. So we are really deeply rooted in the change that we want to see play out for ourselves, and that is what's happening. As I was talking about, you know, coming up on the turn of the year, the end of the year, going into the new year, things are going to be different. Nothing was the same. Shout out to Drake, who was a Scorpio. Wild ass Scorpio. Yeah, I'm light skinned, but I'm still a dog, nigga. Ay. That's not the line. I'm an unforgiving, wild ass dog, nigga. Hey, shout out to Xena. I miss Z. I guess I need to go see Xena because I've mentioned her twice in this video, but I did just see her like a couple weeks ago, but let me do it again. Anyways, tangent. Really rooted in the change, really making the change happen in the physical for ourselves with this 4 energy coming in with this Scorpio lunation, the Scorpio lunar cycle. Okay, so that's it, wrapping it up for what's going to be going down for us energetically for the next month going into the end of November. Again, that real G's move in silence like lasagna. Expect to be ducked off, expect to not really be doing too much, not to be too social. I really don't see that as a major energy coming up for us, more so towards the end of the year when we go into Sagittarius season. But for this next month of November, especially with it getting cold, people, like, you're just going to be kind of, I don't want to say isolated, but really focusing on the things that you need to do for yourself, within yourself, in order to see those things that you have envisioned play out in the physical coming up in the near future. A lot of perceptive, again, I guess maybe a lot, perceptive shifts coming in for y'all, us, me. Looking at things a little bit differently in regards to how to get into those spaces that you want to be in, okay? I talked a little bit about the shadow side already. Be aware of people's motives and your own motives. Again, check your own morality. And also be mindful of selfishness. Think about what you're doing and if it's for your greater good, again, or if it's for a selfish reason that's not really going to serve you in the long run. And just keep in mind that people might be thinking or operating like that as well, especially those that are not really too in tune to astrology or know a lot about what energies are coming into or aren't really prepared for it. And yeah, so the people that are going to be affected mostly by this are people with their personal planets in, you know, Scorpio or 4 degrees or in fixed. or a fixed sign or in a lot of water, if you've got your Mercury in Scorpio, you're definitely going to be touched. You're going to be rocked by these waves of the Scorpio lunar cycle and the Scorpio retrograde, Mercury retrograde. And again, if you've got a lot of 4-degree energy or Scorpio energy, or, you know, water energy, fixed energy, and because Mercury, because we're having the Mercury retrograde, you might, if you have a lot of Mercury aspects in your chart as well, you can expect to feel a lot of change and see a lot of change, especially in the physical during this next month, going into November, or towards the end of November, okay? And if you've got a lot of Pluto influence in your chart as well, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, or if you've got heavy Pluto aspects in your chart, you can expect to see some major change, all right? And yeah, now time for my shameless plugs. Check out that retrograde cycle, that Mercury in retrograde, Scorpio retrograde, Mercury. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. That video is going up in a couple days, maybe today. Check that video out, all the other retrograde videos. We've still got a couple going on. I think we still got Uranus and Neptune, I think, I want to say. Those videos are in there as well. And check out the Scorpio lunar cycle tarot forecast for all of the signs. They're free 99, and all of everything that I just mentioned is linked down below in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch y'all next time. Peace.